Today we're going to be talking about stress. You might think this is common sense, but our bodies and our minds weren't designed for the stress that we now encounter in the 21st century. If you're to believe scientists and carbon dating and all of those things, and carbon dating I believe can be wrong, human beings have been around for 1.8 million years. It does seem quite a long time considering we've managed to mess the world up in the last 50 years. I believe in the Bible, so faith is faith, isn't it? So let's just say we have been around for that amount of time. That means that it's only recently we've started to have technology. So 99.8% of our existence has been hunter-gatherers. We've gone out, we've hunted food, we've gathered it, we've taken it home, we've eaten, we've survived. Now, about 12,000 years ago, agriculture was invented. So as humans we learnt how to herd livestock, and then an even shorter period, 200 years ago, we had the Industrial Revolution. Bear with me, I know this is all boring history. It's only the last 100 years we've become lactose tolerant. If you look at Aboriginal tribes, they're not actually lactose tolerant. So that's actually a fact you can Google. So that's what we originally were. We were like Aboriginal tribes. So to sum it up, they don't drink milk and they don't have any lactose skills. We have developed them over time. Another interesting thing is the fight or flight method. Every mammal has this built in. So the stress response is adaptive in the short term, but in the long term, it's toxic. What I'm basically saying here is that we're not designed to be under constant stress. And the modern day world we live in does provide us with a constant trickle, if not flow, of stress continuously all the time. There's so many compounding factors in the modern day world that we have to deal with. We're constantly comparing ourselves, aren't we, to athletes, superstars, models, millions of people. If you went back thousands of years to when you were a hunter-gatherer, you were in a group of 50 people. There was probably only 4 or 5 people in your exact age range. So it wasn't impossible for you to be the best at something. You might have been the best hunter. You might have been the best at sourcing places to hide, ways of cooking. It wasn't impossible for you to be the best at something. And now nobody is the best because we're in touch with media, television, sports, this, that and the other. As I mentioned, we've also got this 24/7 connectivity to the world via phones and computers. Our brains were never meant to deal with the stress of that. And if we try and give it up, we can't really, can we? If you can persevere with it, it's possible. But it is pretty hard to put your phone to one side and live without your phone, especially if you're a teenager. So I was interested to read about this because I've probably mentioned before to you that I, over the last year, had turned the notifications off on my telephone. My friends have got used to me being like that. If I haven't replied to them for half an hour or so, whatever, they kind of know that my notifications aren't on and they don't, harangue me about it too much. Sometimes they do. But what it's allowed me to have is it's allowed me to have a little bit of freedom and a little bit of release from the chains of modern technology. But if you think about it, if you're going to meet your friend and you'll text them, you still all right? 5 minutes before, I'm on my way, yep, I'm just parking, yep, I'm just there. It's a constant barrage of information backwards and forwards, having to stop, do this, stop, do that, multitasking. I remember back in the day, now not everyone will remember that far back, but I expect the majority of you will remember when you're going to meet your friend when you're at school. I'll see you on Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon outside Woolworths. So what I'm saying is that you would see your friend Friday, I'll see you tomorrow. That was fine. And you would meet and you would actually be there at 3 o'clock. We didn't need phones, we didn't need all this technology, we were able to cope. How easy was that friendship transaction? The day before, you say you meet them at a certain place, you're not checking up, you're not texting them, you're not WhatsApping them, you're not, checking the weather report and sending it, or having an update from your TomTom or your whatever Google Maps on the parking and the congestion and I'm going to be 5. It was easy. You just did it. And it was stress-free. We need to really start to go, okay, when I'm doing an activity, I'm going to put my phone to one side. We need to start to cultivate our contact list into friends that understand everything's okay if we don't always get back to them instantly. And I'm saying this, but I'm the worst person if someone doesn't get back to me. I start stressing. Well, this is it, isn't it? This is part of an OCD struggle I have as well. And I've got to really work on that. I have been terrible over Christmas, especially when I decide to text everyone Happy New Year, and the next hour I'm going through, they've not replied, they don't like me, why have they not replied? They've read the message, it's even gone blue. Why have they not replied to me? Oh, I thought they were my friend. So I ended up being really stressed all New Year's night, until about 9 o'clock in the morning when a couple of people had replied, and just thought, it's mental health. But it's not just mental health, is it? I think people with mental health problems, like myself with my OCD and various things, I catastrophize things out of all proportion, whereas your normal person is going to say, okay, they haven't replied to me, I'm a bit annoyed, but I'm not going to let it ruin the whole evening, whereas I will. And that's something I've got to work on. It's not necessarily going to be easy, but I'm going to struggle through with that. And whatever you might think, you can't disagree that we are quite busy multitasking nowadays compared to what we used to be. And all these technological gadgets, they make us capable of communicating with people, FaceTiming. They're amazing. They've got amazing benefits, but they're causing us to multitask more and to be consumed with them and very busy, and our minds don't really get a rest, do they, anymore? I'm fighting a fight against them to take my freedom back, take some of my life back, start to relax and realise that actually doing nothing, well, not doing nothing, but not multitasking and stressing about this and that, is probably healthy for my mind. And that's really what I want to start to do, and I want for you guys to do as well. We are enslaved in a way to some technology, and it's probably a good idea to break away from it just a bit. Thank you for supporting me. Please like the video as well, because YouTube then sees it's an okay video and passes it on to a few other people, and there might be something in here that helps someone. And have a look at the suggested videos I've put up for you. Thank you very much again, and I hope you have a good day. Bye bye.